Greetings, friends of Wildland Fire. This is Darren Claybo, the State Fire Meteorologist for South Dakota, and welcome to your Fire Weather Situation Report. Today is Friday, March 27th. This video is valid for Saturday, March 28th through Monday, March 30th. So let's just get started and talk a little bit about what we have coming up over the next few days. Just as a quick refresher, common denominators for big wildfires in March are dry conditions over the past couple of weeks, well above average temperatures, and cold fronts. Days preceding cold fronts typically have higher fire activity. So over the past month, it's actually been exceptionally dry. This is obviously longer than 2 weeks, but if we look over western South Dakota, central South Dakota, well, heck, everywhere in South Dakota, it's been exceptionally dry over the past 30 days. There's pretty much no snow anywhere outside of the higher elevations of the northern Black Hills. Exceptionally crispy out there. And along with this exceptional dryness that we've seen over the past 30 days is exceptional warmth. We're talking 6 to 12 degrees above average for a 30-day period. That is a statistical anomaly. It's kind of crazy how warm it's actually been. So those combinations of warm temperatures, very dry conditions, and we've actually had a lot of wind over the past month too, has led to incredibly dry fuels. Let's look at some ERCs, or the energy release component, basically a metric of fuel dryness. Top chart is for Magpie Creek, that's kind of down by the Rosebud Reservation. And the bottom chart is Red Canyon, which is located kind of on the southwestern side of the Black Hills. Left side of the chart is January. If we work to the right, it's all the way to the end of December. And the numbers on the left axis as we go up are increasing ERCs, which means increasing fuel dryness as you get higher and higher. So there's a couple of lines I want to point out. These records go back about 20 years. So the bottom blue line is the record minimum ERC for that time of the year. Record minimum ERC just implies that the fuels were kind of a record wet, if you will. The top red line represents the record maximum ERC for that time of the year. And that means the fuels are exceptionally dry relative to historical averages, and then averages in green. You can see that this year to date, basically all the RAW stations are around. We've been setting record ERCs really since the start of the year. Yeah, it's varied a little bit because we have gotten a couple of bumps of precipitation here and there, but it's not been significant. But if we look at to where we're at today and into this weekend, we are at and above record high ERCs. So our fuels on the landscape are incredibly dry. Let's look a little bit at Saturday's weather. This graphic shows relative humidity at 3 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. Central Time on Saturday. Over here, we have RHs that are about 10%. Eastern side of the state, RHs that are, 20%, something like that. So again, incredibly dry. This is also showing wind barbs, which is telling me wind direction. Across the eastern side of the state, it's going to be southwest. Sustained winds anywhere from probably 15 to 25 miles per hour. Across the western side of the state, you see kind of these barbs going everywhere, which is telling me we're going to have pretty light and variable winds across western South Dakota. So the focus for Saturday is really kind of south-central South Dakota going through eastern South Dakota. In fact, there's a fire weather watch out for Saturday for exactly those areas. Gusts on Saturday. This is Saturday afternoon. It's probably going to be a little bit windier earlier in the day across central South Dakota, but this is Saturday afternoon, before 4 p.m. Central Time. We're talking gusts on the order of, let's just say 25 to 40 miles per hour across eastern South Dakota. In western South Dakota, we're not going to see that big a gust, but I do want to stress, even though it's not going to be windy across western South Dakota, it's so incredibly dry where you can still get significant fire growth, especially in the timbered ecosystems when you have a little bit of slope that can help to drive your fire. Sunday, similar situation in terms of RHs. We might be at 30% RH East River. Down here, we might be at 8%. Up here, we might be at about 15%. So critically dry relative humidities. But I want to show you that winds are light and variable across much of the state. That's a good thing. That's not going to drive the fire spread, although fuels are still going to be cured. The only place it's really going to be breezy is across the far southwestern side of the state, where we're going to have kind of west-northwest winds And those west-northwest winds are going to be gusting, I don't know, on the order of 15 to 25 miles per hour down there. So not incredibly strong, but enough to make for difficult initial attack. Monday, however, is the day of most concern for me. RHs, if we kind of broadly speaking, RHs up here are going to be 25% plus. Down here, we're going to be really 8 to 15%. Incredibly dry across southern and western South Dakota Monday, which would be March 30th. In addition, you'll see strong, breezy, westerly winds across these entire areas. And those breezy westerly winds are going to be gusting on the order of 30 to maybe 45 miles per hour. The top end gusts, maybe not, but I definitely think in that 30 to 35 miles an hour range we could see gusts. But the thing I want to caveat all of this with is we are going to see a cold front push through Monday evening. Generally, ahead of cold fronts, it typically gets a little bit windier. So I'm hedging my bets on higher wind gusts on Monday afternoon across western South Dakota. So speaking of cold front, this is now at 9 p.m. Central Time, or 9 p.m. Mountain Time, 10 p.m. Central Time. And here is about the location of the cold front. You can see there's strong northwesterly winds behind it. We still have this very dry air ahead of our cold front. But we do have some moisture pushing in behind the front with more humid conditions. It's going to be short-lived, but if we do get a fire, there'll be a little bit more humidity on it. But if we do have a fire that starts off on Monday and we do go into extended attack, we really want to consider the impacts of this cold front, because now we're going to see northwest winds gusting from 30 to 40 miles per hour. So on Monday during the day across western South Dakota, be westerly winds. And then Monday night, those are going to shift to north-northwest as that front passes through. And so definitely a lot of concern from a fire weather perspective for Monday. The timing on this front is a little uncertain yet. Please keep an eye on your local forecast to figure out the exact timing of that front on Monday evening. But do know that Monday is going to be a prefrontal day with a cold front pushing in sometime Monday night. Tuesday should be a little bit more cool and humid. But I'm not expecting any widespread precipitation with this frontal passage. So to summarize, warm and dry through Monday, breezy on Saturday over southeastern South Dakota, breezy on Sunday over far southwestern South Dakota, and then West River, breezy on Monday ahead of that cold front. Remember, cold frontal passages are really kind of driving fire behavior across the region, and fuels are at record dry levels. It's incredibly dry. The one thing I didn't have on here is RH recovery, overnight recovery is going to be poor. Recovery is poor. So we're going to maintain dry fuels daytime and nighttime. And there is potential for initial attack going off into extended attack if we do get some ignitions that are out there. So have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. If you have any questions or concerns, please call me or email me. I'll be around. Hope you all stay safe out there and enjoy your weekend. It'll be warmer than average too. Temperatures this week will be up in the 70s. Monday will probably be in the 80s. So if we're not fighting fire, I guess maybe we can just cringe and enjoy the warm, dry weather.